I introduced my brother to a couple of my friends from the Mideast the other day. A couple were from Lebanon. I think even one was from India. And my brother, he's really up on all these intricate foreign policy maneuvers and what's happening in these different countries. And so when they were done talking, the guys came up to me and said, "Your brother knows more about our countries than we do." Well, I kind of experienced that with him. My brother is a liberal, of course. My brother is a liberal, and we used to do a talk show together at WDEL. We're the official guest hosts. So I would notice that whenever we talked about somewhere far away or something that happened a long time ago, my brother was like all over it. He knew every detail, the address of every house, the date of every big thing, the name of every person involved. Okay, fine. But when we talked about Wilmington, Delaware, where he was born and raised, where he's been active in liberal democratic politics his entire life, where everybody on the city, he knows everybody on the city council, everybody in the liberal state legislature. He's worked on their campaigns and he's known them. He used to work for Joe Biden, so he's kind of seen a lot of these people come up through the ranks. Every time I'd say, "John, why have your friends at the Wilmington City Council, why have they turned this once charming middle-class town into a hot chocolate mess of violence, mayhem, and murder?" I'd look over and it was like crickets. No, he would have no answer. Literally, he just would sit there, wouldn't say anything. Then every once in a while, if he did say something, he would say, "Well, crime happens everywhere." And that was it. And so I think that's kind of like we did a video on this just the other day where we looked at all these brainiacs from all over the country, and I really said, listen, I really want these brainiacs to tell me why these people are getting bonked on the head, why those women are getting carjacked, why those women are getting raped, why that old couple got killed. The brainiacs have answers for everything except the stuff that can really help us figure out what's going on with this expanded level of black criminality. And I'm not talking from the view from the space shuttle. I'm talking down here on the launching pad, right here, what's going on down here. The universities aren't any better. I mean, a place like DePaul University. I mean, I've done stories about DePaul occasionally. I mean, it's one of these schools that's kind of surrounded by bad neighborhoods. And in the last, we're going to see a clip in a minute where it talks about all these armed robberies happening at DePaul now. But this story is different because this story, it actually tells us the reason why black people are robbing students at DePaul.
A DePaul University student is shot and injured in a robbery attempt. That Northside neighborhood now on alert tonight. This is the fourth time a DePaul student has been the target of violence in recent months.
Eyewitness News reporter Michelle Gallardo is live tonight. Michelle?
Alan and Cheryl, that student managed to get himself to Mount Sinai and is expected to be okay. DePaul officials telling us they're providing assistance and support for both the student and his family as he recovers. This as the student body becomes increasingly concerned about their safety. It's the fourth time a DePaul University student has been victimized near the Lincoln Park campus in the last 3 months. In this latest incident, police say the 18-year-old male student was leaving the 7-Eleven near Sheffield and Lincoln late last night when he was shot in the leg while trying to escape two men who wanted to rob him.
I'm pretty concerned. This is where I spend most of my time, so I don't like that it's happening.
And although the shooting took place off campus, DePaul University officials say their public safety officers are on heightened alert as a result. They've also informed the student body.
They send out an email to all students whenever anything happens in the area, not necessarily to students.
Since January 18, 4 students have become the victims of neighborhood crime, mostly armed robberies. And while many accept these occurrences as part of city living, others admit it's affecting their daily behavior.
It is frustrating. I feel like I have to kind of plan my classes around it and not take any night classes.
University officials point out that in addition to a dedicated campus police, emergency call boxes are located around campus, and students leaving at night can request the university's free escort service.
It's not something you can use all the time, so you really have to, be smart and be aware on your own. and know that it's a city and that even though it's a campus, the public is sharing the space with us.
Did you pick up the reason why? Did you get the reason why these brainiacs at DePaul figured it out? Did you figure out why the parents are spending $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year to send their children to that school to get an education so they can slice and dice these problems into their little component segments so then we can look at them and get a better understanding of them? What's up with all the crime at DePaul? Here's the answer.
And while many accept these occurrences as part of city living,
It's a city and that even though it's a campus, the public is sharing the space with us.
Crime, black crime, is just the way it is in Chicago. And for some reason, if you want to live in a big city, that is just the way it goes. Got it? A cop sent me this story, and another cop sent me another story from Chicago about a whole bunch of black people were in court. They were there for violating their probation. And the district attorney was not even going to send them back to jail for violating their probation. The judge was incredulous. The judge was saying, what's up? These are dangerous people in here for dangerous reasons. They were told they couldn't have any more contact with their criminal associates. We found them having contact with their criminal associates, and you're sitting here as if that's not a big deal. Well, that's the way they roll in Chicago, because you remember in Chicago with people like Rahm Emanuel and all the Democrats on the city council, they're all down with one thing. They know that black criminality, they're not really criminals, they're really victims of white racism. The real predators are the white racists who somehow force black people to become criminals, to rob students at DePaul, to start criminal enterprises that victimize lots and lots of people. And the DA couldn't figure out why the judge didn't understand that, especially in Chicago. I mean, that's been this way in Chicago for a while. And for this judge just to step up and say, hey, what's going on here? As if that's not normal. I mean, that's not normal for a judge to stand up and say that. So I, for one, am grateful to that reporter from, I think it was the ABC, the ABC affiliate in Chicago, for pretty much recognizing that black criminality is now part of the fabric of Chicago. I'm grateful to the faculty at DePaul University that's teaching all their students. There's nothing you can do about black criminality other than look over your shoulder every 30 seconds. I mean, where are these kids learning these answers? Just the other day I saw, we'll do it. I think we'll get it. We'll do a video on this one. But there's a couple that did a study, something to do with white males, and yeah, the study was about white men and maybe their mortality is lowering or something like that. And a lot of people said, "Wow, why are they doing that study on white people?" So the magazine, the interview with the magazine, they actually said, it's like, why are you doing this study on white people when you know that black people are neglected in academia? I mean, what kind of fantasy world is that person living in? You have entire departments, plural, that do nothing but contemplate the dysfunction of black people in this country. What is every black studies program in this country? That's where, you basically get a degree in institutional racial resentment. If you're a person in a black studies program, you already know this, but in case you're looking for a degree where you can just have a degree without doing any work, if you take black studies, just if you know this one thing and you put this one thing down on every test and exam that you take, you're going to get an A. And all you have to know is black people are relentless victims of relentless white racism all the time, everywhere. That explains everything, especially why cops are always picking on black people for no reason whatsoever. If you know that, you are golden. I mean, what about sociology? I was looking through my sister. She's been out of college more than a couple years, but I actually found some of her textbooks the other day when she was a liberal too. Sorry. And her sociology books from college, and her books and her notes were just it was all about like, how can white people fix black people? That was it. That's the only thing you study in sociology classes. And it goes on and on. We are absolutely This problem of permanent black dysfunction is something that colleges keep studying over and over and over, no matter how many euphemisms they attach to it. And then the solution is always the same, that somehow, everybody in the country that's trying to figure this out is wrong, and here's our novel solution. I mean, that's how you come up with things like midnight basketball. That's how you come up with things like prosecutors looking at gang members who are violating their parole and probation and saying, oh, don't worry about it, they'll be good boys, they'll never do it again. That's how you get reporters looking into the camera in Chicago, a once great city, looking into the camera in Chicago and saying, well, everybody knows the crime is normal in Chicago and DePaul. That's just part of living in the city. Oh, really? I don't remember Rahm Emanuel saying that when he ran for mayor last time. I thought he was saying just the opposite. That all these terrific programs he had manufactured by people who went to DePaul, it was going to make a big difference, and the crime was all going to go away. As long as we get rid of these white racists who are ruining Chicago, we'll be fine. But now we know the truth, documented by ABC affiliate in Chicago. Crime is normal. Reporting crime is now normal. And it's also normal not to report anything that would make the black kids angry.